when we saw her in the first film, she was very kind of shy, and she was kind of quite, she was obviously just a little girl of this big family, and Ron was obviously the main, he seemed much older, and she seemed quite shy and sort of a bit scared really, and in the second film she obviously, got taken over and taken into the Chamber of Secrets through Tom Riddle's diary, and that sort of immediately changed her. She sort of realised the threat and sort of how powerful Voldemort was, and sort of since then has always been very much kind of beside Harry and sort of understanding of what he's going through. And then she, matures a lot more in the fifth one. She becomes much more of a sort of brave, sort of warrior, sort of type figure. She really kind of steps up in Dumbledore's army and next to Harry and the others. And then in this one, you kind of really see her become much more of a sort of woman. She's kind of mature and independent.
Take my hand.
They can't tear them apart.
I think the biggest challenge for me was probably kind of having to do many more, kind of scenes when there's less people in them, many more intimate scenes, for instance, between sort of myself and Dan. There were kind of these moments of tension that we had to create, which was quite a very different experience from all the sort of big Great Hall scenes which we do. But I think working with David Yates and with Dan beforehand, just doing a few rehearsals, sort of really helped me sort of in preparation and in a way to explore this relationship. So I think it's been a challenge, but I think I've learned probably the most out of this film than I have in all of them. Yeah, it's been amazing to work with so many, talented British actors and actresses. I think we've pretty much had everyone in Britain be in Harry Potter. So it's been an exciting, I think there's no one specific I've really sort of thought were mentoring me. I think they very much like to leave it to ourselves. They very much put trust in what we're doing, and they sort of seem to like, young actors coming through. But I think the best thing to take from working with them is just, to watch how they work and see what methods that they have, and a lot of them seem to sort of really kind of fully take on their character before they even step on set. They're very much in character all the time, so that's exciting. And they all have such presence, it's just quite inspiring just to watch them really, even if you're off camera. Yeah, I think definitely. I think obviously the split of the Deathly Hallows, they're very much very different films. The last one is going to be obviously as epic and as dramatic as we can make it really, to be a nice and kind of effective finale for this movie. But it's definitely a different feeling. Obviously coming to an end, we sort of want to take advantage of these moments that we have together and filming. So it's going to be a very different experience, I think, when we complete this film. Hello everyone in the film web, I'm Bonnie Wright, and I hope you enjoy the movie. I think it's been my favourite out of all of them to film, so I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, definitely. I think from knowing her since, I've known her since the age of 9, and always when I read the books, I think she was always a very exciting and sort of overlooked character, I think, at first. And I think in this film you really get to see how she develops and how she becomes, very independent and sort of quite, I don't know, she seems quite fearless about what other people think. She seems to have quite an independent attitude, and I think I really admire those traits. I think it's definitely been an exciting development. Obviously, like you said, there was very much the younger, shy sister of Ron, and she seems to be very much in the background. And then she kind of, I think in the fifth film, in The Order of the Phoenix, you began to see her grow, and she became much more, through Dumbledore's army and through sort of travelling to the Ministry, she became very, brave and strong, and she's always wanted to be beside Harry and to protect him. And then in this film, obviously, she becomes very much mature and independent, and she's quite able to answer back at people, and she's not really afraid of what people think. It's quite weird, I guess, because we've known each other for so long. So it's a weird, to suddenly end up doing quite an intimate and physical scene. It's quite strange, but it's more mechanical probably than any kisses in real life. It's not romantic, and it's not sort of as dreamy probably as real life is, because obviously acting is, you're taking on a different character, and so is he. So you're almost playing someone else, but being yourself. So I mean, it was quite weird. I think I was probably more nervous about it, before, leading up to it. But then when it got to the day, it seemed to be fine. I think the scene worked so well. I think David Yates was so kind of encouraging and sort of explained how this scene sort of evolves. And we've got a lot of dialogue that happens before, and we're obviously hiding the Half-Blood Prince book. So there is a sort of side story to it, and it was good fun. I think you've just got to treat it like any other scene, really. I think with in this film, when you see Hogwarts, I think you very much, I think we've already shown, I think in the movies, we've already shown the fans the moving staircases, the sort of, the magical kind of vastness of the Great Hall and all the sort of magic behind it. So I think we almost didn't have to re-explain that. I think the fans have seen that, and I think what we all really wanted to show of Hogwarts was the relationships and the friendships that are within Hogwarts, and you know what a sort of big part of everyone's lives the school life is. So I think, yeah, there is a bit less of the sort of magical elements of Hogwarts, but I think it focused much more on the beauty of Hogwarts. You know, the final scene of this film is sort of overlooking the sort of the landscape. So I think you really do realise, you know, how it's such a, for Harry, who now has to sort of leave Hogwarts and go on and find these Horcruxes, it just shows what a sort of part of his life it is, and sort of a sense of belonging it kind of creates. We finish sort of next year, sort of about April, May next year, so it seems, you know, it's quite soon when we finish, so I think it's going to be kind of quite a sad experience for us all to end. It's been such a big part of our lives. But in this September, I'm starting film school at university, so I'll have, you know, about 3 years of university to sort of complete. And obviously I really, you know, from this experience, I've just loved so much acting, and so I want to really just continue and challenge myself, and I don't know, do a very different film would be exciting. I want to continue acting, but then the film school course I'm going to at university looks at all different things. It looks at acting, directing, cinematography, so I'm kind of interested in the whole wider picture really.